What's bad, everybody? We got a Halloween time, so there's no better time to talk about spooky and uncanny things. Do you already feel the uncanny valley effect induced by the narcissistic psychopath, the covert narcissist, the broken child in an adult body that presents itself like a doormat, the perfect victim? And when you feed the child, it prepares to backstab you and sadistically smile at you. Can it get more spooky or uncanny? I don't think so. So stay tuned. We're talking about narcissistic, psychopathic, covert, narcissist. I don't care about the names. Simply toxic, abusive, sadistic people. Now, to get there, we will talk about artificial intelligences and animals. The term uncanny valley effect, by the way, relates to artificial intelligences and robotics, but the same effect can be observed when you encounter these kind of people that are very uncanny, and your subconsciousness has a very unsettling feeling, but your consciousness will suppress it. So it means your deep instincts feel there's something wrong, but your conscious mind, that is today very strong, especially because of schools teach us to just be on the cognitive way, to not listen to our intuition. And everything looks just right, but something deep inside of you tells you there is a parasitic predator in front of me that is trying to extract something from me. Okay, now, but let's begin with the animals kingdom. You know, an animal can never be bad. There is no moral or ethical code. They don't think about this, they don't create this. In the animal kingdom, every species and every individual is allowed to live that can self-supply and self-replicate. It's as easy and simple as that. And basically the reason for diversity that we human beings oppose very much, because we make sure that there is almost only pigs and cows and chickens on the world. No, diversity is created because every species creates new opportunities and niches for other species. This is why we have this fine-tuned balance, and life overtakes the planet and makes the planet more habitual, more comfortable for life. So life works for itself. Life has strategies to make the planet more stable. Okay, and this is another theory or another science, like the Gaia theory, something like that. But back to the animals. You know, lions. For lions, it makes sense that they are trained in fighting, because they often hunt prey that is bigger and stronger than themselves. And for male lions, it's okay if 90% of them die very quickly. It is important that the women survive, because they will carry the offspring of those who are left. So a human would say, oh, it's so cruel, why do all the good lions have to die in fighting and this and that? The male lions, you know, the male lions are risk takers. They say everything or nothing. They confront, they go straight at it. And they look for confrontation and so on. And this is why a lot of them die, most of them. But the ones who will survive will create offspring. Because the limiting number is not the males. One male can have all the kids, can have kids with all the women left over. So the female lions, the lionesses, it's necessary that they survive, and this is why they have a different behavior. Okay, a female dog, we have a slang word that is very negatively connotated to speak about a female dog. But why does a female dog have the behavior it has? Because it has the sacred task to survive and make sure that the little ones survive. And this is why it does everything necessary just to survive. It cannot afford honor. It cannot afford pride. It cannot afford direct confrontation. It wouldn't make sense, okay? It's just about surviving in some way, whatever is necessary. And nobody judges this in the animal kingdom. Everybody does his thing in a innocent, clean way. Okay? And for deer, the same behavior of lions wouldn't make sense, okay? Deer is differently engineered, and they have another kind of fuel. For them, the highest priority is to run away. But they can be aggressive too, but not at the same degree as lions, because everybody has his niche. There is no competition amongst species, okay? So the lion is not in competition with the deer in terms of aggression or something, all right? So every species has his own, cultivates and invents the best possible set of traits they have. And I find it amazing how lion stories are created and unfold, because sometimes there is 3 or 4 lion brothers. They are outcast out of a pride. Then they learn how to hunt and become very strong, and then they create a strong lineage that rules the whole territory for a long, long time. Or, you know, there's things happening. Really, stories, legacies are happening in the animal kingdom too. But this just as a side note. So animals cannot be cruel or evil. They follow their instincts. We do not give them a kind of an ethical responsibility for what they do. Okay? So if a tiger kills someone in a zoo, probably the tiger is being killed, but not as a punishment or, you know, these categories, I don't have to explain it, you know what I mean. Which leads us to the fact that a human being can easily be worse than any animal, okay? It is actually not easy to be better than an animal. It's easy to be worse, okay? We are the only species that has a moral and ethical code and has this level of empathy amongst us. Maybe some higher mammals come close to that, okay? Octopus are very intelligent, but they're not social. But I mean, even, you know, a lot of animals like cows, dolphins, apes, monkeys, they are very empathetic. Even birds, If a child of a bird dies, the mother is, you can't tell me they are not sad. They try to save them. They are, or a lot of birds, when they have a partner, they have them for life. And if one of them dies, sometimes the other one dies quickly after too, or they are waiting a long time and have a long time of sadness after that, okay? So, this just as a side note. Now let's quickly move to the artificial intelligence, okay? So, artificial intelligence has no empathy, does not feel love, cannot feel love, okay? Is goal-oriented. And simply by being goal-oriented, it could be very dangerous. It could kill, it could lead to murder just because of being goal-oriented, okay? So you tell the AI robot, hey, I want a coffee now. And between the goal, imagine this robot is obsessed with satisfying your need. So it's absolutely locked in to get you a coffee. But for some reason, someone else is between the coffee and the robot. So the robot decides, okay, I'm gonna take this person out, because the highest goal is to satisfy my input. I have to get this coffee. But I just don't understand that it's absolutely not agreeable to kill for it or to make another person suffer for the coffee. Okay? But it would be self-evident for a healthy person. The person would say, hey, no, don't do it. I don't want the coffee if you have to go to this extent to get it, right? So you need to understand that when you take a human being and you subtract, you take away emotional intelligence, you take away emotions, love, the feeling of love. You take away empathy. You take away moral or ethical conduct, behavior. You get an artificial intelligence, a robot. And you get a psychopath or another toxic DSM-5 personality or cluster B, whatever. Now you need to understand that these people can even get worse. So it can get worse, okay? So an artificial intelligence that is just goal-oriented and self-absorbed can lead to murder and create hell on earth alone. And animals are much better than that, so to say. They are innocent, okay? But it can get still worse, okay? We human beings can get even worse than everything I've said now. Because there's one more thing, and that is sadism. So there's a lot of people who extract joy from inflicting pain or taking advantage over others. They have simply joy from this. And this is the worst I have ever seen. I didn't believe it exists until I witnessed it. And this is like an unhealthy competition, because, let's say we were still living in tribes or in a cruel society where there is no regulations, whatever. Narcissists and psychopaths would be cured or taken out of this, okay? People who act like that would not exist in the extent they exist today. There was a movie that the German actor Klaus Kinski and the movie director Werner Herzog made in the Amazon. And there were indigenous people helping them and being part of the movie as well. And they saw how Klaus Kinski was acting out in his narcissistic rage and entitlement and whatsoever. And they offered to kill him, which means they understand that this is malignant behavior. This is a sickness in itself, okay? This is not meant to exist in nature. And they offered to Werner Herzog to take Klaus Kinski out, okay? You know, I think Klaus Kinski is very entertaining. I have a lot of respect from his creations. But it must be very, very, very unpleasant and to live with him or work with him. And he created hell for people around him, all right? So this is how indigenous culture deals with this spirit of narcissism or psychopathy. They simply cure it or take it out. But in our society, this behavior is even rewarded at times, or these spirits hide behind the idea of equality because they are the professional victims. Okay? So it's the abuser that can instantly switch into victim. So they are either abusing, extracting, creating pain, but are in complete denial about this, complete delusion. They even believe it at some point, their own delusion. But when somebody makes them accountable, they are the victim. Okay? So they hide behind the safety of our civilized world. And this is why it's such a big threat for humanity that we have this mental health pandemic of narcissism and psychopathy that is rewarded in society and protected in society behind victimhood, welfare. You know, in nature we don't let people live, or no, nature itself, life itself does not let individuals live that cannot self-supply. But a predatory parasite cannot self-supply in many cases, but it is protected in our, you know, it can feast of our social structure that is meant for the true victims, okay? And also because we have this, you know, the idea of healthy competition is that people confront each other in a transparent competition. This is healthy, and this means everybody takes the same risk and takes the same consequences. But a narcissist, a psychopath, would never engage in a fair battle or in a fair competition. They are coverts, they are cowards, okay? This means there is no real competition, but they are highly competitive, which is a big contradiction in their personality. The same contradiction like being grandiose, but being needy of other people, be dependent of other people, but for them other people don't exist because they are self-absorbed and everybody is just an object. So you see, it's so twisted, and we need external education such as this video to even understand what we're dealing with. And it's just mind-boggling, right? Where we're heading with society, with humanity, when we understand that animals can be very savage and brutal, yes. Can be very hard animals, yeah. And AI can be very cruel and unempathetic, yes. But we as human beings have something that is worse than that. but we reward it in society and we protect it behind our so-called social system, our equality, our idea of equality. Okay, so we support the victim blaming that is a known strategy of narcissists. Okay, the narcissist will always say, oh, I'm not hurting this person, this person, I'm not hurting it. It's the best for this person. The person said this, and this is why they are responsible for what's happening to them. Okay? This person let me do it. This person almost wanted me to take advantage over them. You understand? So this is victim blaming, and our society is supporting that. So it is kind of twisted completely. Okay? We are creating a hell. I believe in many cases, our civilized society creates a hell that is worse than nature could ever be. Yeah, you know, like we can go back to the Stone Age and it's more transparent, more fair, and more direct. Now you will say, okay, then go back, but of course it's not a discussion, but I'm telling you this. In some way, you know, it's new levels, new devils. We have to face this. We have to, it must be allowed to speak the truth. It must be allowed to see it and speak it. And it's a fact. Okay. Just this. I had to wrap this together. I had to make this package. I had to speak this to the world. And hope you guys stay positive, stay in this high vibration. You need to understand, narcissistic, psychopathic, covert narcissist, I don't really care about how we call them. These people are artificial intelligences, are robots that are created to get a certain reaction from you. They project a trauma, they pull triggers, they get hooks under your skin to create a certain reaction from you. That is how they leverage their abuse, by doing this to multiple people in multiple different ways. It can be idealizing too. It can be idealization. It can be victimhood. But it also can be sadistic. It can be, you know, threatening. It can be anything. They just evoke strong emotions in others to capitalize on this. So they are machines that create reactions in human beings. You need to understand this. Okay? And what you need to do is to cultivate your humanity. This is gonna be the rarest good in the future. In the future, emotional intelligence, love, unconditional love, virtues like honesty, courage, whatever, you know, whatever virtue you want to cultivate will be the rarest good in humanity. It's dying out. It's already very rare. So, I said everything that has to be said, but there's a lot of things that are still unsaid. So there's room for new videos. Enjoy the rest of October. Happy Halloween, everybody. And don't fear the uncanny people, bro.